Let me make this clear. There are two different approaches, broad approaches to parenting. And if you get them mixed up, then bad things happen in your relationship with your child. I'm Dr. Scott Turansky. I help parents use a heart-based approach to bring about change in their children. And I train coaches. And I want to talk to you specifically about these two different ways to parent. If you mix them up, then bad things happen. One is when a child's in the green zone, and that's when most of the day we're getting things done, getting up in the morning, getting breakfast, doing what we got to do, getting kids off to school or doing schooling at home, whatever you do. It's getting chores done. It's getting baths done. It's getting things cleaned up after dinner. It's going to bed. When a child's in the green zone, we're doing all kinds of things, and we want to do those things as a way to parent there that helps children develop responsibility and obligation. That's one way we parent. But when a child's in the red zone and the child's defiant or angry or having a bad attitude or being disrespectful, we parent differently. That's very important to understand. Let me give you an illustration. Mom of a 3-year-old, child's having a tantrum out in the front yard. So she brings the child inside and says to the child, "You need to take a break and settle down." And the child knows what that is, but the child takes his shoes off and throws them across the room. And mom says to the child, "You need to go pick up those shoes." Now, what do you think is going to happen? Is the child going to go pick up the shoes? No. He's going to say no. Why? Because he's in the red zone inside of his heart. And so if we're trying to move children and get them to do something, we can't do it then. What she really needs to do is wait till the child settles down and talk to the child and do what they're going to do in the correction time. And then when the child's done, then we send him to go and deal with his shoes. Let's talk about a child who's being disrespectful, who's a teenager, or a child who starts to argue with you, or a child who's whining. In all those cases, the child has moved off track in their lives. They're not moving forward in the right way. And if you keep trying to work with a child to get things done as if everything's normal, or you argue with a child who argues, or you start escalating with a child who's getting angry, then inadvertently you are affirming or validating their poor response. You say, "It's okay to argue with me. I'll argue back with you." No. When a child starts to argue, when a child starts to whine, or a child starts to be disrespectful or defiant or whatever, we stop the green zone approach. We move to the red zone approach, it's the corrective approach. We're not going to allow life to continue this way. And many times we're just going to say, "Okay, whoa. We're off track here. You're off track. Life stops for you. You need to go take a break. Come back and see me." We're not going forward. There's no electronics. There's no even a bedroom. You don't have the privileges of family life unless you're willing to abide by the principles that make this family work. So understand the difference between the green zone, the red zone, and how to parent in those, and don't mix them up, or you'll end up inadvertently encouraging bad things in your children you don't want to do. To learn more about this, check us out at biblicalparenting.org.